Games, glitz, and great entertainment you can enjoy at Northern California's premier casino resort. Cache Creek is the place to play a hot hand on our world-class gaming floor, indulge at our luxurious spa, or catch a live performance from your favorite acts. It's all here, just a short drive away. This is your time to cash in at Cache Creek Casino Resort, official sponsor of your Golden State Warriors.
I know a lot of you really want the State Farm Personal Price Plan. But what's with the oversharing? Like this message Brian left me.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I love the smell of my cat's breath. Yeah.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
United is proud to be the official airline of the Golden State Warriors. But this story goes beyond basketball. It's about United and the Warriors teaming up and showing up for Bay Area communities of color. Through the franchise fund, we're helping minority-owned businesses, from manufacturers to a local cosmetics brand, get the funds and resources they need to thrive. Because when good ideas find their champion, we all win. This is the story of an airline and a community. When good leads the way.
What's up, Dub Nation? It's Stephen Curry. I love the sound of the Warriors crowd, so I've asked for them to help with this Rakuten commercial, the app that gives you cash back at thousands of stores. Yep, Rakuten is hooking you up with a special gift if you make a qualifying purchase of $75. And Rakuten offers cash back at Warrior Shop. All right, now it's a little too much. Visit rakuten.com/Warriors.
You'd do anything for your pet. PetSmart can help. We make it easy to score food, treats, toys, collars, beds, and more. Whether you're on Team Dog, Team Cat, or even Team Reptile, Fish, or Small Pet, you can get what they need at PetSmart, quickly and conveniently. Shop 1,600 stores, PetSmart.com, or the PetSmart app, and use Afterpay to shop now, pay later, in 4 interest-free installments. PetSmart. Anything for your pets. Afterpay terms and conditions apply. Visit PetSmart.com for details.
You've been listening to the Golden State Warriors Audio Network.
Presented by United Airlines.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey Sports. For even more coverage of your team, download the free Odyssey app and listen to your favorite stations, shows, and podcasts.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. That's a wrap.
Yo, that's a wrap. It was an amazing experience. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope they got some laughs, some good entertainment.
This is Warriors Wrap Up on 95.7 The Game.
Pass to Draymond. Flipped it over to DiVincenzo. The cutter is Poole. Squares up, fires, and hits a three. Poole with the bucket.
He's got 13 hoops. He's only missed 5.
39 points for Poole. New career high.
Yeah, career high for Jordan Poole. He'd get all the way up to 43, and the tone was set early for the Warriors in this one. 36-26 after one. They go on to win it 126-110 in Toronto, and a much-needed victory for the Golden State Warriors. We welcome you inside. Warriors wrap up here on 95.7 The Game. John Dickinson with you for the next hour. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. That is the phone number to give me a call or shoot me a text here on Warriors Wrap Up on 95.7 The Game as the Warriors get their first win of the road trip. Now 1-3 with a couple of games to go in New York against the Knicks and Brooklyn against the Nets on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's the Warriors' third road win overall on the season, as the Warriors now 3-14 in 17 road games on this season. And you look at it from a standpoint of how have the Warriors been without Steph Curry? Well, this is their first win without Steph Curry this season. So that also highly important. And Jordan Poole tonight, I mean, bottom line, flat out, this is why he got the big contract in part. and it was twofold, going back to the $123 million 4-year extension, which officially kicks in next year, but was agreed to before this regular season had begun. And it was the fact that the Warriors believed he could be a super sub sixth man that can help change games and keep them afloat. But there was also a belief that Jordan Poole could step in games where either Steph Curry had to miss due to rest or injury or whatever the case may be. And I think you can throw Klay Thompson into this fold as well. If Klay was going to not play in back-to-backs, and I think that clearly has been part of the plan to this point, you bring Jordan Poole back and you tell Jordan Poole he's going to start XY amount of games because Steph and Klay at their advanced age and with some of the injury concerns are not going to play every single night, and he's going to have chances to cook to the tune of, in the games that he's played without Steph Curry, 31 points, 5 assists, and he's made 3.6 three-pointers in all of those games. So I think the Warriors tonight found, in a sense, the template for how it's going to have to look if they're going to survive this stretch without Steph Curry, however long it lasts, and keep themselves in the conversation around 500 in the Western Conference, and then be able to get Curry back, figure out some of the issues that have been prevalent when they've had Curry and when they haven't had Curry, and start to propel themselves again away from 500 as they were starting to over the course of the last couple of weeks before the injuries started to pile up and they lost Wiggins, and you're not going to have Klay Thompson in every game, and Draymond Green is a little bit banged up, and then all of a sudden Curry goes out, and the whole thing feels like it's fallen apart on the Warriors. But tonight is a massive win to stop the bleeding and get back to 15 and 16. I've talked about it a lot the last couple of days, the fact that if the Warriors can get even just one of the remaining 3 games prior to the game tonight on this trip, it sets them up well to come home where they've played much better basketball and just hang around 500, stay alive, not let this thing dip into oblivion to where by the time Steph Curry comes back, you're really having to go on a much hotter run than any run we've seen the Warriors be able to go on in the last calendar year after they got off to the 18-2 and the 28-9 starts of even a year ago. So to me, this thing gets too far off the rails. It almost becomes in many ways insurmountable, or you have to play too perfect in the back half of the season to be able to just get yourself to a point where maybe you're the 6th seed at that point. So these games right now matter more than any games that the Warriors have played to date on the NBA schedule. Got to give Draymond Green a lot of credit tonight. Absolutely have to give Draymond Green a lot of credit. He came out and he set a tone early in the game. He knocked down 3 3-pointers consecutively in this game and had 13 first-quarter points, finished with 17 overall, 7 of 15. And I think the big takeaway as far as Draymond goes for me, it's not about scoring prowess or anything like that, but games like tonight for Draymond Green should be price of freaking admission with or without Stephen Curry, with or without him. Now, the scoring prowess may not be there, but the effort and the energy and the desire to want to be out there with his teammates and the ability to defend and move the ball, he is as big a part of everything the Golden State Warriors try to do as anybody on their roster. And when the appearance, and I know he's been banged up, but when the appearance is that, well, Steph's out, so then Draymond gets to tap out, and he took a lot of heat, and I thought rightfully so, from the fan base for not playing in the game at Philadelphia on Friday, because sometimes perception is more important than reality. And so to see Draymond Green come out there tonight and ball out and play like he gave a damn about game number 31 on the NBA schedule when the Warriors season has the potential to get completely off the rails, I think that's a major hat tip to Draymond Green. I don't want to get over the top with the praise, though, although it's warranted tonight. It's warranted praise, and he deserves the praise, but he deserves the praise for being effective. And I think that's a line I want to draw here. The rest of it should be every night. he should want to be out there with his teammates. He should want to not let this season get off the rails. He should want to help Jordan Poole be as effective as he possibly can. He should want to try and hold this thing up and give this team any semblance of a chance to make a run on the back half of the schedule here once Steph Curry comes back. And the only way that truly can happen is if the Warriors do win some of these games here while Steph is going to be out. And you look at it now, the 2 games without Steph Curry, and it's 1-1, and the difference between getting a win tonight and talking about another loss and what went wrong and a horrible performance and all of that. I think it's huge. It really is the difference between 15 and 16 and say being 14 and 17 and then looking at a couple of games in New York to close this thing out. So hat tip to Draymond Green in a big time way. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Yeah, Draymond showing tonight very quickly, very early on, that it's really important for him to be out there. Other players on this team look to him as a tone setter, as a guy with the leadership ability on the court. Forget about what you want to say about him off the court and everything that's happened with the punch and all of that. We can debate it, here and there, but on the court, he has to be a tone setter, and I think this is what and how the Warriors survive this thing. It's the fact that you're not going to have Steph, but you have Poole in that Steph role, and you try to get everybody else back into as close to their normal roles as possible, and you go from there. And the ball was moving. I thought the defensive intensity was a heck of a lot better for the Warriors in the game tonight. And look, Toronto's not as difficult a team to guard as some of the other teams that we've seen the Warriors face of late. You talked about some of the keys coming into this game as far as facing Toronto. You want to keep them off the offensive glass. You want to try and avoid turnovers the best you can. There were stretches in the game tonight where the Warriors turned it over, and it looked like it had the potential to cause some major problems for the Warriors. But for the most part, they were able to avoid it, and for the most part, they were able to not have the second chance points, which the Raptors also led the league in, get to a point where they could really flip a game. The Raptors just 18 second chance points in this one. And the Warriors got to the free throw line more than Toronto did in this game. And that started in large part with Jordan Poole getting to the free throw line 11 times and knocking down 10 of them. Jordan Poole was just terrific. Career-high game for Poole, 43 points, 5 of 11 from 3. He was efficient. Yes, he did have his turnover problems at points in this game, but 6 assists, and that's the kind of game that you want to see from a guy like Jordan Poole in this one. Warriors won at the free throw line, which was going to be a key coming into this thing. They did turn it over 17 times, but a lot of those were in 1 or 2 key stretches in the game. They gave up 23 points off of those, and you knew that the Raptors, what they don't do is shoot the basketball well. And so they hit 13 of 33 rather from 3. I think you can live with that, but overall 42.1% for the Raptors in this one, and you didn't allow them to get to the free throw line where they had a higher percentage of their points than just about everybody in the NBA coming from the line. So they prevented, I thought, tonight the Raptors from doing the things that the Raptors do extremely well when the Raptors are able to win games, and the Raptors are in a bad way right now. The truth is, this game was right there for the taking for the Warriors, and I think they went for it. I think even targeted it and came out and put an imprint on it both ways. The ball movement early, second game in a row where they hit a bunch of threes early in the game, 11 to 22 in the first half. Jordan Poole with 25 of his 43 in the first half. The Warriors were up 10 after 1. They won the second quarter as well. They held the Raptors under 40% in the first half shooting. They ended up winning the third quarter by nearly the same margin that they won quarter number 1 tonight, 34-26, and the game was never in doubt. I think as close as the Raptors got was the score at the end there, 126-110, and that was a backdoor 16-point deficit. It really didn't feel that close. The Warriors led by as many as 24, and the Raptors' biggest lead was 3, and that was just very early on, first bucket of the game, essentially, with Pascal Siakam hitting a 3. And how about Siakam and Draymond going back and forth? And the Warriors also solid bench minutes for the Dubs. JaMychal Green gave the Warriors a lift, and there was a stretch there late first quarter where the offense stalled with the bench in the game, but they were getting enough stops to keep the lead right there around double digits. And because the Warriors had made so many threes and because Draymond was hot, they were able to withstand. But JaMychal Green, we're having the conversation, is it going to get to a point where JaMychal Green, his minutes give way to James Wiseman, and do the Warriors just go the young route and play the young players in an attempt to just get them some time? But JaMychal Green really helped the Warriors tonight. Knocked down a couple of threes, 5 of 7 overall. There was some good defense. There hasn't been a lot of JaMychal Green games like the game tonight, but the Warriors needed it in this one. Ty Jerome was solid tonight. And the other thing you saw, Anthony Lamb knocked down a couple of threes and a couple of timely ones. When Lamb makes threes, they tend to be timely three-pointers, and that was the case tonight. So you ended up seeing the Warriors, I thought, and I alluded to this a couple of moments ago, I thought they targeted this game early. And maybe even before the game started. I know we're going to hear from Steve Kerr coming up here on 95.7 The Game, but it was almost as if they really had a good practice yesterday and thought, hey, this is a game we can get, and let's do it. And I know this is something that some Warrior fans are not going to like or not going to understand or whatever the case may be, but I felt the Warriors targeted this game and felt they could beat Toronto, even shorthanded. They got off to the good start, and I think that's why tonight it really was very little Moses Moody, even less Jonathan Kuminga, and no James Wiseman. And you know what? For all of the back and forth, I think tonight is the example, and it's an example of who does Steve Kerr trust in the big moments where the Warriors do need to get wins. And I think tonight was one of those nights where it was almost as if the young guys were just not going to play as much, and it was somewhat predetermined, especially after the Warriors got off to the start that they did. Like, hey, there's a hell of a shot to win this, and there's no way that the young players, like this is not going to be about player development tonight. This is going to be about making sure that the game is won, and I think that's why until the thing was decided and the white flag was raised by the Raptors, it was, I think, about 9 minutes of Moses Moody in the first half. He ended up with 11. It was Jonathan Kuminga played 5 and ended up out of this game. And from that point, and James Wiseman didn't play at all until the final 2:21, along with Patrick Baldwin and Ryan Rollins, when the Dogs were called off for the Warriors and for the Raptors basically punting on this one. So I do think it's another indicator that, and probably in a good way, as eyebrow-raising as it could be, as a colleague Kerr Burke of NBC Sports Bay Area put it on Twitter, as I noted that, what I had just spoken to, the fact that the Warriors went with and against really playing the young guys, as eyebrow-raising as it could be, as Kerr put it, to see Lamb and Jerome and JaMychal Green and others, get minutes over the draft picks, it is still, I think, an indicator of the trust that Steve Kerr has, or the lack of trust that Steve Kerr has when push comes to shove in the games that feel like they are dire, in the games that feel that they are must-haves. And it's the warning that I give Warrior fans when they see Jonathan Kuminga play well for a handful of games and earn his minutes, and rightfully so, but to think that it's just going to be the way it is between now and the end of the season because he has 2 or 3 good games in a row, that's not how it works for young players. And look, Kuminga earned his time, and the Warriors were figuring out a rotation where Kuminga was a part of it, but he's got to keep playing well to remain a part of it. And I think he did not play well in Indiana, really, in the first half as the Warriors got down big, and a little better in the second half. He did not play well, have a rebound in the game at Philadelphia. And you look at the box score tonight in his 5 minutes, and it's a scenario where, he didn't have a rebound in this one tonight either. And so it was a less energetic, I think, Jonathan Kuminga as well. For the Warriors that saw him not be in the rotation. Not really a bad thing. I think the young players are going to get opportunities, but there's always this debate, and I think the Warriors believed that they were going to have the young players be a bigger part of the equation coming into the year. I think they thought they'd be able to withstand the young players being a big part of the equation coming into the year and be able to have them get a certain amount of minutes every game. But when push comes to shove, Steve Kerr trusts the two-way guys more most nights in games that are must-haves than he does the draft picks. Not an indictment necessarily of their careers or what they're going to be, but I think an indictment of the dire straits that the Warriors are in right now as they are just trying to fight and scratch and claw and hang on and win any possible freaking game they can without Steph Curry, to get themselves to a point where they still have something worthy of fighting for come 2, 3, 4, 5, however long it takes until number 30 is back on the NBA hardwood for the Warriors. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. As we react to this one, Warriors 126, Raptors 110. Warriors now 15-16 on the season as they get their first win on the road trip. Jordan Poole goes for a career-high 43. It's the first win this season without Steph Curry, and the Warriors find themselves now with a couple of games in New York, one at Madison Square Garden, the other one at Barclays in Brooklyn, coming up Tuesday and Wednesday before they're going to get 3 days off, and then a shot at what will be an game homestand and life with hopefully the return of Andrew Wiggins as well, as you start to look at the template for the Warriors, because I said this to somebody during the game via text, and I know Wiggins isn't back, it isn't a part of it yet, and that makes it all the more tenuous, but I just keep coming back to Draymond plays tonight, and then you get Wiggins back into the fold, and there really is no excuse for the Warriors without Curry to be so bad that it feels like they can't beat anybody in the NBA any night. That is, that should not be the case. Are they a great team without him? No. Should they be among the best lineups in the NBA with him and the starters and among the worst without him, as has been the case? No, it should not be that dramatic. The Warriors have all these other good players on their roster that get lauded, when the Warriors are winning games and when Steph is dominating. But to me, and this is one thing that we haven't seen enough, and I think that's why the other night I was probably a little bit more frustrated with the Draymond Green situation than maybe some would have liked. But to win without Curry, you need to have everybody else, and you need to have everybody else playing at a high level, and you need to have everybody else really fighting and scratching and clawing and wanting to go, guts out on a night in, night out basis. And that's why I think, again, it comes down to Draymond wanting to play tonight. Let's see how it looks. Let's see what this team is with just Steph out and Draymond starting with Looney and Poole and Clay and Wiggins, and then you bring Dante DiVincenzo in at that point. You get Wiggins back, and then maybe Steve Kerr can shorten the rotation up a little bit on the back end and play DiVincenzo more as he has been playing, but play DiVincenzo more at the expense of maybe a couple of the younger players, and that helps solidify some of the margin for error that you have here. We never truly get a chance to see what this team can be without Steph, because it typically isn't just Steph. Historically, lately, it's been, you don't have Steph, then you don't have Draymond, and obviously you haven't had Clay, and then it looks a lot like it's looked here these last game and a half before tonight, and that ain't pretty for anybody. I mean, that leads you down a dark, dark road to start to wonder if maybe it's just full developmental city and not even worry about trying to make a run. I don't want to see the Warriors do that. I want to see the Warriors try. I want to see them fight. I want to see them attempt to hold on this season and see what they can make of it. I think too much over the years here, it's been kind of all or nothing, and all or nothing by necessity. It's been, well, this team's got a chance to win a championship, or let's tank for this guy or that guy. I don't want to see that be what this year turns into. I want to see what this, I want to see a little of this champion's blood in the regular season. And I think tonight you saw it from Draymond. I think tonight you saw it from Kevon Looney. I think tonight you saw it even from Klay Thompson, who didn't shoot the ball great, but played a much better floor game tonight. 4 assists, 17 points, 7 boards, some good defense, in particular in the post. He didn't look like the frustrated, I got to shoot my way out of every miss Klay Thompson. He looked like a Klay Thompson that was, trying to do everything he possibly could to help his team earn a victory tonight. And I think that's the Klay Thompson that you want to see. That's the Klay Thompson that can help this team win some games even without Stephen Curry in the fold. So 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We'll hear from Steve Kerr. We'll hear from others in the Warriors locker room in Toronto as the Dubs win this one 126-110. We'll come back. Your phone calls, your texts, it's all straight ahead. Warriors wrap up on 95.7 The Game.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
At the Home Depot, we have the tools to make gift-giving magic for all the DIYers on your list. If they prefer working on real homes over gingerbread houses, you can't go wrong with Makita Power Tools, like the 18-volt 2-tool kit for only $249, or the 18-volt compact circular saw for only $139. Get everything you need to get it done with new lower prices on Makita Power Tools only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Fast just got a whole lot faster. Xfinity has the fastest internet with up to 6 gig speed. Plus, Xfinity Mobile is the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. You heard that right. Xfinity just increased internet speeds again. And Xfinity Mobile gives you can't catch me speeds. The fastest internet, the fastest mobile service, and major savings? Can't argue with the facts. Now through December 21st, new customers can get 1.2 gig internet plus X-Fi Complete with unlimited data and Wi-Fi equipment included. It's just $50 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Plus, get $200 back. Go to Xfinity.com/faster. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Congratulations to Steph Curry, Sports Illustrated's Sports Person of the Year.
He's a 4-time NBA champion, a 2-time league MVP, a member of our 75th anniversary team, and for the first time ever, he's an NBA Finals MVP. The 2022 Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP award goes to Stephen Curry.
What does it mean to you to finally get this Finals MVP?
I mean, I hear all the conversations, I hear all the chatter, we hear all the chatter. At the end of the day, it's about what we do on the floor. Ain't got to talk about it, just got to go do it, and that's what this is about.
Brought to you by Celebrity Cruises. Journey wonderful with Celebrity's biggest offer of the year. Sail on the world's best ships to the world's best places, like the Caribbean, Europe, Mexican Riviera, and Alaska. Hurry, Celebrity Cruises semi-annual sale ends soon. Contact your travel advisor or visit Celebrity.com.
Hi, I'm your unused PTO. It's almost the end of the year, and if you don't put me on a timesheet, I will be gone forever. Use me or lose me. Let's get away.
It's getaway time. Get our best deals of the season on a new Hyundai. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now get 0% APR, 0 payments for 90 days, and $500 bonus cash on select vehicles. Hurry to your local Hyundai dealer now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends 1/3/23. Call 1-562-314-4603 for complete offer details.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Siakam contested 2 on the way, no good, and it's tapped out. Flynn steps into a triple, it's up and no good. Rebound Boucher, third chance for the Raptors. Barnes out to Flynn, another 3, no good. Long rebound, Siakam, he's open, won't shoot the 3, dribbles in, takes a foul line jumper instead, that's no good. DiVincenzo comes back and says, I'm gonna get this rebound.
Now back to Warriors Wrap Up on 95.7 The Game.
All right, welcome back. Warriors win 126-110. 888-957-9570. John Dickinson with you here until 7 o'clock as the Warriors are 15-16. Some text messages to get to. Also, we're going to hear from Steve Kerr. But let's go out to the phones. Against my better judgment here, Sterling, let's roll with Body Slam in San Francisco. What's going on, Body Slam?
Thank you, JD. Yeah, I just want to say it's a good win for the Warriors. I wanted to ask you a question. If you would trade Kuminga, the potential to possibly be an all-star 3 or 4 years from now after Steph Curry retires, for a savvy veteran like we saw today on Toronto, Chris Boucher.
Yeah, I would. Thanks for the call. If Chris Boucher specifically, I probably wouldn't make that move. No, I would not. Boucher's a big. If I'm going to trade Jonathan Kuminga, and I don't think the Warriors in any way, shape, or form want to be in a position right now where they're trading Jonathan Kuminga. But if I'm trading Jonathan Kuminga, I want better than Chris Boucher coming back. But again, I don't think I would be more open-minded to looking at options, depending upon where this team is as they get closer to the trade deadline, and are they healthy? And is Steph back? And are they, working their way 10 game, to me, almost have to be about 10 games over 500 by the time that the trade deadline comes to really be, or at least close to that, to think and know that you've got all your championship core players healthy at that point to try and push forward. But I don't think that's something the Warriors are looking to do, because I think they believe that Kuminga has some high-end potential. I think they also believe Kuminga in the short term can be somebody that can help this Warriors team. I know bigs always come up, but I still maintain the Warriors need more wings. Like that you want more wings. I mean, the way that the traditional big, it just is not a part of the way the Warriors operate. And so if you are looking to make a move, and again, I don't necessarily think the Warriors are looking to make a move, but to me, you're looking to make a move for wing players as opposed to big players. Couple of text messages here to get to on the Xfinity mobile text line. 352, game ball to Jordan Poole for stepping up and leading this road win. I think that's well said. 239, adding to that, if Poole plays like this, the Dubs can hold serve until Curry gets back and then a playoff spot. Yeah, and look, tonight was a career high. Tonight was the extreme, but I think tonight is the template to where, look, nobody is Steph Curry, but Jordan Poole can go for 28 to 30 a night. He can, especially if he's the number one option. Now, does that mean you're going to win as much as you do when Steph's out there doing it? No, because it's a completely different player, but the style of play and the skill set of Jordan Poole does allow for him to go out there in the Warrior system with free reign to score and do his thing and put up some big-time numbers. And I think that's only enhanced, not to make it about Draymond, but it's only enhanced by Draymond's ability to be out there and play at the level that he can as he does with Steph. So I think there is a pathway to how it has to look for the Warriors, and I think tonight is part of the pathway or the template for how it needs to look for the Warriors moving forward. And then you add Andrew Wiggins back, which should provide another 20 a game kind of a scorer and length and defense and all of the things that come with him, being a part of the equation, and that's outstanding. And you love to see that. And then, that allows DiVincenzo to go back to the bench, as we were talking about. And then that has, gives Steve Kerr the ability to go more matchup specific as far as the bench and a better player pool to try and develop what the bench without Steph Curry is going to look like, and Jordan Poole now into the starting lineup. But 510, praise isn't really the right word. This goes back to Draymond Green for doing what you're supposed to do. You get some praise for being able to do it, but you don't really get praise for doing it. You get positive support. Let's keep it up. That's I think pretty well said as far as Draymond goes. Like I don't want to say, oh wow, Draymond, like what heart tonight, what grit, what determination for going out there and playing for the first time since Steph went out. Like that's like going out there and busting your ass is price of admission. Now, is he going to have 17 points and hit 3 3-pointers and all of that? No, not every night. But Draymond came out smiling tonight and happy to be out there and looking like he wanted to win the damn game. And that energy is infectious to the rest of this Warriors team as somebody that is a 4-time champion and a defensive player of the year and one of the great winners when he wants to be in NBA history. The 240, not feeling JaMychal Green at this point. If the Warriors count on this dude, we are doomed, need a better bench, period. Well, at this point, we could debate that, and I'd even probably come down your road as to whether I think they do need a better bench, but how do you go about getting a better bench, I think is something that remains to be seen, and I think the Warriors have to be in a holding pattern right now and make do with what they have until they get closer to the trade deadline, as we were just talking about. Let's see what the record looks like. Let's see what players are available, and then let's see if you have the option to retweak the bench at that point. But JaMychal Green playing well, though, is a very good development. And no, I mean, history would tell you that there's probably one of those games for every 10 to this point of the season, and that's not nearly enough. But you'll take it when you get it, and tonight the Warriors were able to get it. 888-957-9570. Let's go to Joe in the city next year on Warriors Wrap-Up. What's up tonight, Joe?
Hey, how's it going? Quick question for you, and it's like, I guess a slightly leading question, but I agree with you that the Warriors in a wing makes the most sense, a really good two-way wing. For you, is that a move that you think they should actively look to make, or are you just saying that would be, if they do make a move, the moves make? And on top of that, like, where do those minutes come from if they were to acquire said player?
Yeah, I think for me it's more the latter. It's more if you were to make a move, I would look to make a move for a wing. And I think if as far as where the minutes would come from, the minutes would probably come from Jonathan Kuminga. And I know that's something that wouldn't make a lot of Warrior fans happy at this point. And maybe it's a scenario where he could, but it would be somebody that Steve Kerr would trust more consistently. I think what we've seen here these last couple of games is even though Kuminga's played well and he's been praised for it, the last couple of games he hasn't, and it's taken him longer to work his way back out of favor, but he has slowly kind of worked his way out of favor or tapered off from doing the things that the staff wants him to do as far as defense and rebounding and the like. So, and thanks for the call, Joe, but I think that's probably where it would, at some point, I think if the Warriors decide that this team is good enough to win a championship or close enough to being good enough to winning a championship, I think you have to go get another veteran wing that can help put you over the top. And if you do that, you're not going to, you're doing it basically by also acknowledging that it's probably going to take Moody and Kuminga's minutes. And you know what? Who cares if it gives you a chance to make a deep playoff run and win a championship? Like, I don't think that the development should ever get in the way of the belief that you can do something special in an individual season. And so as I pencil through the rotation, and I've got my board that I kind of go through every single night, it'd be Anthony Lamb too, by the way. I mean, Anthony Lamb's been playing basically in every game, but I think it would be Lamb. It would be some of Lamb's minutes and some of Kuminga's minutes. If you were to get that kind of a player, I think that's how you would roll with it. Maybe it winds up being if you play more Draymond at center, he could get some of JaMychal Green's minutes too. If this was somebody that could be a 4, like a 3-4 type of a player. And look, I don't know who that player is. To be honest, I think it's probably a little early to be doing a in-depth search at who is available out there right now. But yeah, I think I'm looking at a wing at a wing player for sure. But again, what are you going to give up? I still think Wiseman's probably the player that the Warriors could be convinced to give up above others. I don't think they're looking to trade Kuminga at this point, and I think they really like Moses Moody. But Moses Moody, again, it's tough because I get the impression that they don't really trust him as a guard because he's not much of a ball handler, and they don't really trust him as a wing because he's kind of small to be a 3 or to be a 3-4 type. Obviously, he's more of a 2-3, and so there's just something off with Moody where he's a little bit of a tweener, and I think if he made shots more consistently when he got opportunities, I think it'd be a little bit easier to play him regardless of the scenarios, because he would just, you would know that you're getting some offense from him. He could be kind of an instant offense guy, and that would allow you to withstand maybe some of the other mistakes. The 415 on the Xfinity Mobile text line, you may think I'm crazy, JD, but I think Dante DiVincenzo is a more solid all-around player than Jordan Poole. I think the way I would put it is Dante DiVincenzo's a good player. He's just a good backup guard that can handle it, that's streaky shooting it, is a willing passer, pressures the ball defensively. He's just a good player. I think Dante DiVincenzo is just a good winning player. He is the kind of player that, opposite to Moody, really can make an impact on the game in a positive fashion, even if he's not making shots. And I think tonight is tonight's an example of that. And he can be a little turnover prone. And tonight he had 3. He can be a little erratic with his shot. And tonight he was 2 of 5. But he also had 6 assists. He keeps the ball moving. I like the defensive pressure. He's a plus 12 kind of guy. Good things happen when he's on the floor for the Warriors. And I think getting Wiggins back is going to allow for Dante DiVincenzo to go back to the bench, but I don't think it's going to be go back to the bench and not play. I think it's going to be go back to the bench and keep playing probably 25 minutes a game. He's a young prime kind of a player as well. So I think Dante DiVincenzo is really important, and I think a big part of why the Warriors struggled in the first 10 games was the fact that they didn't have Dante DiVincenzo for basically 7 of those 10 games, and that entire road trip when they got beat in a bunch of close games late. Maybe a couple of those games wouldn't have been as close late if DiVincenzo had been playing some of those minutes off the bench at earlier junctures in the game. So 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, 650 on the Xfinity mobile text line. It's great to see Poole have a great game. Hopefully this will quiet the Poole critics. Warriors are at their best when both Poole and Clay are playing well. I think that's fair. For me, it's not even about the critics necessarily. It's just this is why Jordan Poole was re-signed. This was the case. The case to be made was, can he be an effective sixth man? He struggled with that, to put it bluntly, here in the beginning of the season. But that was only half of it for me. The other half of it was, how does he play when he starts for Clay, because Clay's not going to play back-to-backs, and how's he going to play when he starts for Steph, because you knew going into the year that Steph was not going to be playing every single game. You knew at some point there was going to be 10, 15, Warriors would hope not 20, but 10 to 15 games that Steph isn't going to be able to play. And that means somebody else has to step in and be able to play. That means Jordan Poole has to step in, and you need a young guard that can just fill it up. And that's the thing that Jordan Poole does better than anything. So how he performs in these games, I think, are hugely important for the Warriors as they try to navigate the portion of this season that they're going to have to play without Steph Curry. So 888-957-9570. Let's go ahead and hear Steve Kerr as he met with the media inside Scotiabank Arena in Toronto as the Warriors get the win over the Raptors 126-110. Here's the head coach.
Steve, was that the most complete game you've ever seen Jordan play?
He's played a lot of great games for us. So if it's not the best, it's definitely one of the few best, because he was great at both ends. His defense was excellent. I thought he was patient offensively, got us into our offense well. He just set the tone. He just carried us.
Is Draymond Green 3 consecutive threes exactly like it's at the start of this game?
You know it. Yeah, that was a great start. Draymond was feeling good right from the beginning of the game, and I don't think I've ever seen. I think he had 13 points in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. By the first time out, he had 13, which was crazy. But Draymond's amazing. Such a competitor, such an incredible defensive player. And those shots were huge for us. They just helped us get off to a really good start.
Was there like a mini heart attack when you let the third one fly?
Oh, no. He was hot at that point. Gonna let it fly.
I don't need to remind you of your road record or anything like that, but I think this was 5 straight road losses heading into today. Did today feel like a must-win, kind of, just because of Steph not, Andrew still being out, and just everything else to try to help?
I just, I don't like the term must-win until you have 3 losses in a playoff series. Then that's what a must-win is. Where we are right now, we're climbing out of an early season struggle. We've gotten better over recent weeks. We just haven't been able to capitalize on the road. But tonight was a great effort. And as I said before the game, I really like this team. I think we have a chance to be really good. And the fact that we're having to climb out of the hole and find ourselves, figure out our identity, guys are having to find roles, that's actually really rewarding. Sometimes these are the best kind of seasons where you got to figure it out collectively. And the guys have such a great attitude, such a great approach, and they're fighting, and it's nice to be rewarded.
Was there anything that jumped at you? Obviously, you guys shot the 3 ball incredibly well in this game, but in terms of the slips that you guys got and all the stuff going to the rim, was there anything in particular where you thought just like pacing or like something that you guys were doing that allowed you to hammer that stuff and completely unwind that rapid?
No, I mean, I think, anytime you're making threes like we were tonight, it opens up the game, and the defense has to come out. We had a slip, I think, for JaMychal, I think Coloco jumped out to guard Clay on a pin in the corner. And so, guys make a few threes, it changes the game, and the defense has to respond to that, and they're more vulnerable to slips and back cuts and stuff.
That kind of shift in the defense, them having to extend out further, kind of help JaMychal Green the most.
Toronto switches everything, and one of the thoughts going into the game was that JaMychal could play a big role because of his ability to stretch the floor as a big. Starting Draymond and Loon together, you don't have ideal spacing. So for Draymond to go out there and knock down 3 threes, and then JaMychal to come in, make a couple more, getting 5 threes from our big guys, it was a game changer.
Steve, you mentioned earlier how your own team is trying to kind of figure out their roles and identity and all that. And the Raptors are kind of in a similar spot. They're on a 5-game losing streak. What do you think is the key to being able to get out of those kind of bumps? Is it just looking big picture? Is it, changing quickly after practice? How have you kind of found that they get up?
I think it's just maintaining your poise and equilibrium in a time where there's a lot of noise, and especially in the modern life that we live in the NBA. If you're struggling, you're going to take a lot of criticism and a lot of heat. What I like about our team, one of the reasons I really like this group, is that we've taken plenty of heat, but our approach and our attitude has been great. Yesterday's practice was fantastic. Had a great film session. Guys were upbeat, practiced. Guys are laughing. They're enjoying the process. They're enjoying the work, enjoying each other. I think that's what it takes. Is your culture has to sustain when you're losing, and as long as you have that, that means the guys have the right approach, and things tend to go your way.
You spoke a lot in 2019 about how much you like playing here in the crowd, and it was a great place to play. And today, the crowd was a little bit quieter because obviously there was a big lead on your half. How tough is it to play here when there's that big crowd? And do you notice the difference as a coach of the crowd noise or anything like that? Or are you locked in?
I think that the way that I always feel coming in here is that people love basketball. And there's a buzz in the crowd before the game even starts. And there's a handful of arenas that really stand out in that regard, where you can feel the juice, the energy before the game from the fans. And on top of that, it's a great building. It's a great venue. So I always just enjoy coming in here and experiencing the game and the crowd.
My question is not related with the game, if you allow me. Klay Thompson said 2 months ago that Barca Guardiola was inspiring for you, for your success in the last years. My question is, the team today is in reconstruction, Barca, but my question is keep being inspiring for you.
Yeah, years ago I showed our guys some highlights of tiki-taka football and the importance of possession and making simple plays, but controlling the ball. And so I just think there are a lot of parallels to between football and basketball, soccer for Americans. But I think as a coach, it's kind of fun to give guys metaphors and highlights of other sports, and they tend to listen more. They get their fill of basketball every day. So I think the guys liked it. Clay brought it up, you said, early in the season, and it's the way that we believe in playing. We had 31 assists tonight. The ball moves. When the ball moves, everyone's engaged. Everyone plays better defense. They run harder, and so that's my feeling.
Steve, you talked before the game about how you guys had issues to fix with or without Steph in the lineup, but this was your first win without him this season. Is there any kind of sort of monkey up your back? I know it's only 5 games, but to get a win without him, does that matter?
I look at it more like this is the blueprint. Now we're not going to be able to get 43 points from Jordan every night. He was spectacular, but the way we played was how we've got to play. Defend with a purpose. We held them to 22 free throws, so we actually won the free throw battle today, which was huge. The overall game was how we need to play: tough defense and then keep it simple on offense, and just get each other easy shots by making simple decisions rather than trying too hard and going in for wild attempts. And some of the things we've done early in the season.
Steve, a quick follow-up. What other sports have you shown your team in the past?
Showed him tennis. I think one of the things about tennis is that, you can tell if you watch tennis, you can tell who has control of the point by the depth of the player. So if a guy is 10 feet behind the baseline and the other guy's right on his baseline, who's controlling the point. And the analogy was if you're pressuring the ball defensively and you got them starting their offense well beyond the 3-point line, you're controlling the possession, and similar to a tennis match.
At the play where Draymond caught the lay-down pass in the dunker spot, turned and flipped it to the corner and nobody was standing. what was supposed to happen? Dante supposed to coming down to the corner?
It wasn't a play. It was just, we play a lot out of concepts, and he was just expecting Dante to come out to the corner for a shot.
That to speak to how a lot of stuff you run, it's really react, obviously.
Yeah. And he just anticipated that he would be there. Thinking about showing the guys croquet tomorrow.
Yeah, so maybe croquet it is. Tennis, football, soccer. However, it needs to work out for the Warriors. So, happier Steve Kerr following this one as the Warriors get the job done in Toronto. Much needed win to improve to 15-16. Quick look at the NBA standings here. And the scoreboard for tonight, as I like to do that here, among the Western Conference teams, and not a lot of action for the West, although Minnesota did blow out Chicago tonight, put 150 on them, 150-126. Denver's got a lead at Charlotte. Warriors are going to see Charlotte coming up when they return home next week. This is the beginning of a long road trip for Charlotte. Charlotte starting tonight in Denver, so they're going to be on the road in Sacramento tomorrow, and they go all through the West as they're going to be taking on the Warriors, I think, next Tuesday. So that goes to show you how long they're going to be on the West, and the Lakers and the Wizards are going at it in Los Angeles tonight as well. That game just underway. Warriors at 15-16 now. They are the first team out of the play-in tournament. Minnesota moves into that final spot, so the Warriors 11th in the West, half game out of 10th, and at this point, only 2.5 still out of 6th right now, with Sacramento and Portland both tied for 6th, 2.5 ahead of the Warriors at 4 games over 500, respectively. So that'll do it for me. I'll be back on Tuesday for Warriors wrap-up. A couple of nights of Warriors wrap-up as Damon and Rado will have Warriors Live for you for the next 2 against the Knicks and the Nets, and then join me after the ball game with Warriors wrap-up as we'll be breaking down Game 5 and Game 6 of the trip, and we'll see if the Warriors can make it 2 in a row on Tuesday night. Thanks to Sterling Bennett. Thanks to everybody in our San Francisco studios. Warriors get the job done tonight, 126-110. You heard it right here on 95.7 The Game. Good night.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, ready for the grill and your taste buds. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had 2 challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to kansascitysteaks.com for website design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEBNOW1. That's 877-WEBNOW1.
Meet Joe A,
hi,
Joe B,
hello,
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, here's a holiday gift from Bed Bath & Beyond. Between now and Christmas, get 25% off your entire purchase by texting JOY to 239663. That's 239663. New offers every day at Bed Bath & Beyond. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
From the creators of Kentucky Fried Chicken comes the Taste Good Holiday Event of the Year, KFC's $5 Famous Bowl, starring crispy chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, and everyone's favorite, melty cheese.
I'm in love with you, Famous Bowl.
Treat yourself to the bowl critics are calling a whole lot of food that even a Scrooge couldn't resist.
A humbug, that's tasty.
Gift yourself a KFC Famous Bowl for just $5. Now on the app and at a Kentucky Fried Chicken near you. For a limited time, prices and participation may vary.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this December with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 200 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off of every Warriors game. Brought to you by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Just one pill each morning and no heartburn all day. My holiday hero.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. We are Fox Sports. And here's what you need to know.
About a minute into the third quarter, the Giants first on offense here in the third, 14-3. They lead against the Commanders. Saquon Barkley, right before the end of the first half, was able to punch one in on the ground, a 3-yard score, and also Kayvon Thibodeau, who was able to pick up a fumble in the end zone, a defensive score for this Giants team. Meanwhile, earlier, a major meltdown for the Patriots. Last play of the game, Chandler Jones stepped in for the Raiders.
And now Jacoby Myers spinning around. He throws it to Chandler Jones in midfield. And a step forward. Chandler Jones racing towards the end zone. He scores! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That will be Raiders Radio Network. Yes, on the last play, it was a lateral taken back by Jones in a 30-24 win for the Raiders. I'm Brian Fenley.
This is Fox Football Sunday. You're listening to Fox Football Sunday. And we're breaking down your football day.
The big guy's going to take it to the house.
From the plays to post-game, your football teams are repped here. Fox Football Sunday is now.
Ready? Go!
Live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio. Here's Mark Willard and 13-year NFL veteran Ephraim Salaam.
Second to last game of Week 15 in the National Football League moves into the second half. We'll keep you posted. The World Cup is a final. Raise them to the sky. Argentina and so much more going on in the world on a Fox Sports Sunday that we are covering, talking about, having a good time, and wishing you the best as we move into your holiday season, broadcasting live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. Unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Ephraim, I've got questions.
I've got answers.
Okay, perfect. Let me ask this, because this is confusing to me. We always call all of these leagues what? The copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
We see something, it works, we copy it, and then defenses or whoever needs to adjust. You know, for instance, you get a player like Brock Purdy who comes onto the scene, and it's like, okay, young fella, you can play a little bit, but he's going to have to make adjustments because the league is going to make adjustments to him. They'll find the weaknesses. He'll have to adjust, see if he can continue to evolve and move forward and become the player it appears he's going to have a chance to be. So we get all that. When the 49ers look good, though, no matter who's quarterbacking them, there's this thing, and you've spoken about this. There's this thing that happens. Like the last 3 weeks, Purdy's gotten a lot of compliments. Around the San Francisco Bay Area, so is Kyle Shanahan. There are weeks, this may or may not surprise you, there are weeks, months, even years in the last 6 where I've had to go to pretty great lengths to defend Kyle Shanahan to the fan base because they get upset because, oh, he's a genius. Oh, if he's such a genius, then why didn't he go for it on 4th and 2? This kind of stuff. But right now, he looks like he is in his bag. There are people running free down the sidelines. He's on his 3rd quarterback, and they're moving up the rankings in terms of being favored to win the NFC. So if Kyle Shanahan is such a great play caller and he has this unique run scheme and he knows how to run people open and he just needs a quarterback who will see it, how come no one else can do this? Why hasn't it been copied yet?
Well, you know, the thing that Kyle Shanahan has for him is the greatest thing that happened for Kyle Shanahan, which expanded, you know, his offensive mind, was when his dad drafted RG3 in Washington. And the reason I say that was because I know the Shanahan offense. I know what it was. I played in the offense with his dad and with Gary Kubiak and under Kyle Shanahan. It's the same offense. But when they got RG3 and he was more comfortable with run pass options, the RPOs, right? This was something that wasn't in that style of offense. That was non-existent. It was run first, play action, right? That was the genesis of it. So when he evolved and opened up his mind offensively to accommodate a talent like RG3, where they went on a 7-game winning streak, made the playoffs, the whole 9 yards, that opened up something inside him to where he got to see, oh, okay, if I add this here and put this, like a chemist, right? If I do this, it's the same. It's almost the same here, but so now he's evolved with that, right? He goes to Houston, a little bit more, evolving. He goes to Atlanta, it's more evolving. Now he's running the show in San Francisco, and based on the dynamic talent that they have around him, he's open to, oh, I can do anything. And it's very hard to duplicate that because the foundation